Good afternoon, Internet world. Admiral Preparedness here. Getting over another bout from gout, which kept me off the radar for several days. And I'm just getting back to somewhat of a functioning person. The news has not gotten by me whatsoever, but I'm finding it harder and harder to stomach any of it. And the recent massacre that occurred in Las Vegas over the weekend has me completely, I don't know how to put it, but it stinks to high heaven. This whole situation there. Of course, my heart goes out to all the people who lost a loved one and the ones who are recovering from their surgeries. The visit by the president the other day it could be considered, one of those situations where we must unite as a country, and yet look at each other with a straight face and say, what the hell just happened? How could an individual go that far under a radar and create havoc in every hospitality hotel, motel establishment around the planet? We've heard of these shootings where they come up on the beach and shoot up a bunch of sunbathers. We've heard of them attacking hotel from the front, getting access to rooms and killing customers. Now we have this where a gentleman, well, I don't believe he operated by himself, but just one person who accumulated a lot of weapons and ammo, and then after 10 minutes of spraying people 400 meters away, took his own life. Something just doesn't sit right here. This is one of those situations where you kind of go, what? And who's not saying what? We understand there's an ongoing investigation. I understand that. This will probably be one of those cases that's discussed in law enforcement venues for the next 50 years. One could hope that the 59 and maybe more, we still have people still recovering from their injury, their wounds, who may pass. It's just one of those things where we're not going to stop. If you look at any culture worldwide the past 1,000 years, life goes on. It's just, did it touch your life? It didn't touch mine directly, but it touched mine completely, because now I was trained in situational awareness, being a former military member, and when you hear that distinct sound, your first instinct is to duck, hit the deck, cover, find protective cover. Your next natural instinct is to protect people around you who are your loved ones, and then your next instinct is to try to save others and get them out of harm's way, as well as getting your own self out of harm's way. This is a classic situation that will be, again, discussed for decades. I just find it hard to believe that there's just one person got under the radar. I mean, I know of people out there who have arsenals of weapons from the last 30 years of my being a prepper, but none of these individuals would, in my opinion, become unglued enough to plot something similar to what just happened over the last weekend. I can't fathom any law enforcement even rehearsing to prevent something like this, because it's just something that you would see in the movies. You wouldn't see it in real life. But what's sad to say is what's happening in our movies is now becoming reality on our streets. And this has concerned me for the past 30 years, that we are allowing past generations and future generations to continuously be bombarded by violence, where every time you turn the tuner to a different channel, you're being exposed to some form of violence or immoral activity that goes against all the grain that you were raised. Once again, that's why we have the freedom of choice, but it's got to stop, or it's got to slow down, or we need to open up the dialogue that can allow this to be vented and find out where these people can go to seek help, because taking one's life after a massacre of such magnitude only just it creates more questions than answers. I would be interesting to see the autopsy results of the shooter to find out if he was terminally ill, or what brain tumor he had, or what physical ailment he may have had. And then once the gumshoe police activity is conducted, and the FBI and local municipalities do their investigations, that we find the reason why this individual did what he did. Of course, this is one of those things where every movie producer on the West Coast is scrambling to lock down scripts and actors, and in 3 to 5 years, this will be a made-for-movie event where we'll all be watching it once again. So in saying that, my folks, my friends, and anybody who's listening, my heart goes out to all the people who have lost a loved one, who now have to go through their belongings and relive their life. It's never a fun thing, of course. And for the survivors, to get the assistance and seek the help that you're going to be needing. And for all the people out there who have been traumatized by the fact that one individual could do this much damage to the psyche of our country, we all have to unite and find a way to identify and make sure that these individuals never fall through the cracks again. Admiral Preparedness. It's a week of reflection, folks.